I built this job portal to do the job tracking at Biscuit. So in this video, I want to give you the demo of this tool and get you inspired to make something of your own. So let's get started. This is the page which has list of all the jobs. Now, as you can see, we have some job openings here and they have been listed here. You can also have some categories. And when you click on each of these jobs, you can get to see the details. There's also an option to go ahead and apply from here. So when you click on apply, you will be able to fill in all the details and submit your job application. This is exactly like how a job portal behaves, so that is nothing new. But what is new here is I was able to build this entire tool just by typing some prompts into Biscuit and getting the features that I wanted. Now this particular app has two sides. One side is what a candidate sees, so it is open to public. You can come on this page and as an anonymous user, you can go ahead and browse through, you can select something and you can also apply for a job from here. And so as an anonymous user, you are able to submit this particular job application. There is a second side to this tool, and that is the team side, something that we can see or the admins of this tool can see. And at the very bottom, there's an option for team portal. Now this team portal is actually restricted to certain users only. The users with some admin permissions can access this. Everyone else will get an access restricted UI. I want to show you how that looks like. Now here I'm about to log in with another email ID which is not my official email ID. My official email ID has my company name as the domain name, and I have implemented a check for that particular email ID so that only the users of that particular domain name are allowed access. So when I try to access it from another email ID, I should be able to get an error. So let's go ahead and check that out. I'll click on continue here. And there you go. So I get an access restricted. So this means I have built in some sort of restriction and authentication gate before making sure that the user is able to enter. This entire feature I was able to build in Biscuit. Alright, so let me go back to my official account and show you how the internal dashboard looks like. So right now I'm logged into my official account, and that is why I can access the dashboard. And how do I know that? If you go to settings, this is where the team settings exist. Here I can see that Maria is the admin. So I've got the talent role and everyone else has got the candidate role. Candidates are the ones who are publicly accessing the job board and trying to apply for the job. Those people cannot access our internal dashboard. This is what I have built as part of the user access and restriction to it. Alright, so now in the dashboard, I've got some very simple layout. The very important aspects are here. As you can see, I've got a pipeline stage, the recent applications, and some roles that are open. The iterations I did were more on the functional side, making sure the user flows are accurate, but most of the UI design is done by AI. I have used some Biscuit branding here, and that is why you see all the pink colors in the primary buttons, and that's something you can do in Biscuit. You can make your app look like your own if you have your brand kit. Alright, here I have got some pipeline. This pipeline looks like your Kanban board or your Trello boards where you move the candidate from different stages. Now, as I can see here, John Smith is in the new stage, and then I have a bunch of other stages all the way till rejected or hired. Now, you can actually just move it like this. And then if you click on it, you will get to see John's application. Now here in the application, I get to see the resume. I have got the pipeline stage. I can also do the rating, and then you can also add some notes at the bottom here. So if you want to add a new job, you can go ahead and post a new job. So let's say if we are looking for a software engineer, I can go ahead and add this particular role here. So I'll create this as a draft, and I can also go ahead and publish it. So let's say if I publish it here, and if I go back to my job board, I get to see 5 open positions, and now engineering has 2 roles here, product and software engineer. So this is a functional site and not just meant for demo. So I'm going to go ahead and delete that because that's not something I want to do it now. So I could just go ahead and delete this role from here or make it a draft mode. That's totally up to you. It doesn't really matter. Alright, so that's the demo of the app itself, but I want to show you quickly how I actually built this. Now this is the project view in Biscuit for the same app. Now, Biscuit is basically an all-in-one platform where you can build your app and take it from idea stage to revenue stage. And what that means is you can not only build your app, but you can start collecting payments, and that means you can monetize or commercialize your app. The way to build an app in Biscuit is to simply chat with AI. So on the right hand side, you have a panel to chat with AI, and on the left hand side, you have all the controls that you require for your app management. Now, I'll give you a very short walkthrough of what is there on the left hand side. Alright, so I've got the overview here, so I can see the overall view of what's happening. You can also go ahead and see the preview of an app. So what we just saw in the live demo, this is what you can see in the preview. You get to see the analytics. Now in the analytics, we cover the basics, and the most important thing here is payments. Biscuit comes built in with payments. What that means is if you click on set up payments here, and if your app is supposed to be monetized, for example, if you needed to pay, let's say 20 euros per month in order to use the job portal, then you would want to have some payment flow, payment collection flow. And that is possible to do by just doing setup payments. In Biscuit, we do not expose the code to the user, so you don't get to see the code. However, you get to see all the workflows in the visualized format. For example, an email workflow. If I want to send an email when an application has been submitted, so an email should be triggered to the candidate, that is a workflow here, and that can be visualized. After workflows, you have database. Now, database also comes built in Biscuit. Now, after database, you get to see the brand. Now, we have an option for you to go ahead and create your own brand identity. So as you can see, I've got my brand guide here. You can choose your colors. You can also have your typography. The next thing that I have here is quickly to show you the chats. In Biscuit, you can create multiple chat threads. Now, a single chat is very difficult to go back to and retrieve information if you need to. So you can create, let's say, different chats for different features. So that was a quick walkthrough of the Biscuit project. Now, this is the project state, and what I showed you earlier here is the live app. Now, this particular app is restricted to our usage only, but you can create a similar app in Biscuit and probably a bit more complex if you like. But what I wanted to show you here is what you can build with Biscuit and what are the possibilities. I hope this demo was helpful for you and gave you some inspiration what you can build on Biscuit. If you have an app idea, go ahead and give it a try in Biscuit. That's all. Thanks for watching.